Welcome back. Now, next month, Nigeria's football team faces a pretty grueling period where they have to play 2 World Cup qualifiers in the span of a week before then heading out to the 2014 World Cup preamble. That's the Confederations Cup. Now, the African champions are pretty keen to put up a good show in Brazil. Their coach, Stephen Keshi, says Nigeria will be looking to win the tournament altogether. That said, the Super Eagles technical director, Shaibu Amodu, says the country needs to prioritize their World Cup qualifiers over the Confederations Cup. Nigeria play Kenya on the 5th of June here in the Kenyan capital, Nairobi, before travelling on to Namibia a week later. Nigeria is tied with Namibia at 5 points, right at the top of their group. They drew the last match at home, 1-1 against Kenya, and they're now in a must-win situation in the return leg to avoid a late rush for points as they seek a slot in the playoffs. South Africa's cricket team departs this weekend for England as they target success at the Champions Trophy. This will be Gary Kirsten's last tournament in charge of the Proteas before Russell Domingo takes over as coach. As Dan Williams reports, the new man in charge hopes he can keep the team on an upward curve.
Looking to fill the void. Few may have heard of Russell Domingo, but this is the man tasked with taking over from Gary Kirsten as South Africa cricket coach. Kirsten is a Proteas legend, firstly as a player, but lately as the coach who took South Africa back to the top of Test cricket. It's a tough act for Domingo to follow.
Look, I mean, the way the side's been operating, there's no real need to make too many changes. For sure, I'll need to bring in my own flavour and my own ideas on certain aspects of the game and certain ways things get done. But look, things are working really well at the moment. We've got a good management side that understands the role really well, so there's no major need to make too many dramatic changes at this stage.
Unlike his predecessor, Domingo has very little playing experience. He made the move into coaching at just 22 years of age. But although the Proteas are #1 in Test cricket, Domingo has his eye on further progress.
I think with the playing personnel there's no reason why we can't dominate in all formats of the game. We've got really good structures in place. We've got a good domestic circuit running. We've got great facilities. There's no reason why we can't dominate in all departments.
One key issue that Domingo will have to face is the future of one of the all-time greats, Jacques Kallis. The all-rounder is the only cricketer to hold more than 11,000 runs and 250 wickets in both Test and one-day cricket. But at 37, time is running out.
I sent him a few text messages a few days ago and he's hoping to play till he's 50. So look, I mean, Jacques will have to manage his workload over the next couple of years, and Jacques needs to sit down and think about how he wants what he wants to do over the next year or two.
There's no doubt Russell Domingo has some pretty big boots to fill, but only officially takes over the role after next month's Champions Trophy, and he wants to give the outgoing coach Gary Kirsten a winning send-off.
I think South Africa won the first Champions Trophy 15 or 16 years ago, so it's a competition that we have done well in the past. And look, going to England, I suppose conditions could possibly suit us with the ball maybe nipping around and our strength of our seam bowling attack. So I suppose there are 8 world-class sides around at the moment. We'll be one of the sides to beat.
Regardless of what happens at the Champions Trophy, the spotlight will be thrust on Domingo thereafter. And with the likes of Pakistan, India and Australia lined up over the next 12 months, he knows soon enough if he has what it takes at the top. Dan Williams, CCTV News in Johannesburg, South Africa.
The second tennis Grand Slam of the year gets underway on Sunday in France as players take to the clay courts of Roland Garros in search of glory. Days before the competition, Rafael Nadal, Roger Federer, Maria Sharapova and Serena Williams got together to play with a few French teenagers. The women's top seed, Serena Williams, is the favourite for the title, but she's expected to face some stiff competition from the world #2 and defending champion, Maria Sharapova. Rafael Nadal, on the other hand, has made a pretty impressive comeback after being injured for 7 months. He says he feels ready to win a potential 8th French Open title this year. As for his key rival, Roger Federer, he may be 5 years older than the Spaniard, but he's not willing to retire just yet.